Welcome back to Morning Joe. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, President Trump spoke about Juneteenth, claiming he made the holiday, quote, very famous. The Journal reports President Trump told them a black Secret Service agent told him the meaning of Juneteenth as the president was facing criticism for initially planning to hold his first campaign rally in 3 months on the day. The rally is scheduled to be held in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where in 1921 a mob of white residents attacked and killed black community members, destroying a thriving black business district. The Journal continues, quoting the president, "I did something good. I made Juneteenth very famous." Trump referring to news coverage of the rally date. "It's actually an important event, an important time, but nobody had ever heard of it," said the President of the United States. The Journal goes on, Mr. Trump paused the interview to ask an aide if she had heard of Juneteenth, and she pointed out that the White House had issued a statement last year commemorating the day. Mr. Trump's White House has put out statements on Juneteenth during each of his first 3 years. "Oh, really?" the president said. "We put out a statement? The Trump White House put out a statement?" Mr. Trump said, according to the paper. Okay, good. End quote from the president. Joining us now, President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. This morning, the National Urban League published a report entitled State of the 2020 Census, an Accurate Black Count at Risk, which takes a closer look at the underreporting taking place in black communities in this year's census. Mr. Mayor, it's great to have you with us, as always.
Good morning, Willie.
You can address the president's comments if you like, but I thought more broadly, just what you're feeling today on Juneteenth. I think he's obviously wrong that no one had ever heard of it, but in the last couple of weeks anyway, many more Americans have done some homework and understood what this day means.
Well, the president's stunning fogginess over what Juneteenth is should not dominate this day. This is what's important. Let's not make this day about what Donald Trump did, knows, or doesn't know. Juneteenth in this year, 2020, should really be about an opportunity for Americans to reflect on that day in 1865 when enslaved Africans learned of their freedom that had been provided by the Emancipation Proclamation 2.5 years earlier. And I think, Willie, a day to remember George Floyd, a day to remember Ahmaud Arbery, a day to remember Rayshard Brooks, and all the victims of police violence across the nation. We should make the day about that. We should make the day about that commemoration, not a celebration, but a commemoration and a time when Americans can learn. We at the National Urban League made this a paid holiday for our employees. A number of American companies have done the same. And I think that trend's going to grow and it's going to continue. And we should consider making Juneteenth a national holiday.
And by the way, that idea is out there in the United States Congress and being pushed, including by some Republicans who say, yes, of course, we should acknowledge this day nationally every year. So what about this moment on this Juneteenth of 2020, as you say? What's happening right now in this country? Are we getting better than we were based on terrible events that have happened, including the killing of George Floyd under the knee of a Minneapolis police officer? You ran the city of New Orleans for quite a long time. You were there for 2 terms. Have we started now to move toward a better place in terms of not just policing, but in understanding the experience of Black America and doing something to change it and make it better?
This movement we see on the streets of America, and it's now in the houses of worship, it's in the boardrooms of America, it's in every kitchen in America. This movement is the beginning, Willie, of the beginning. It's not the beginning of the end. It's not the end of the beginning. It's the beginning of the beginning of what I hope is going to be a time of transformation in American life to overcome racial injustice, the stain of slavery and segregation, and its legacy and aftermath remains with America today. And if Juneteenth is of great value to us, it is of value to help people learn, to pique their curiosity about the truth of the Black experience, to understand the reality of racial wealth disparities, educational disparities, health disparities that exist in American life, and to recognize that here we are just, if you will, 6 years away from the 250th anniversary of the founding of this country. And will our legacy be that this generation has turned the corner on structural racism? This generation has decided to put America's original sin behind it. We're at the beginning of the beginning. It's going to take substantial efforts in order for us to do it, Willie. It's not going to be a one-time thing or one bill in Congress or a few measures or gestures by American corporations. So all of these steps are welcome. It's more than taking down Confederate statutes or celebrating Juneteenth. Although those are welcome and important steps, we're going to have to deal with economic inequity, deal with health disparities, and it's within the power and I think the goodwill of this country to do those sorts of things. We have to see this for what it is. This is the charge and the challenge of this generation, Willie.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.